Nico Montano and Valentina Shevchenko had their conference call. It's currently on the UFC website right now. And it was a pretty good conference call. You know, these conference calls are always really weird because Dana White will come out and say that the company is a $7 billion company. And then they have these janky ass conference calls. And you're like, damn, you couldn't invest an extra $50-$60 into it to make it a little bit better? You know, I've always thought that about the conference calls. Just to be honest, it's always horrible. This one was a lot better. The audio didn't break up a lot, and it was I could hear it. I could really hear it. I don't know if it was because all of the fighters speak really well, like Nico, Valentina, Tyron, and Darren Till just has a heavy accent, but he speaks really well and clear. So maybe that had something to do with it, but I don't know. Usually I listen to these conference calls for about 3 minutes and then I check out. I'm like, I can't listen to this because I can't hear it. It just breaks up. Like you're talking to somebody who's you're talking to somebody who's, literally across the world. You're trying to talk to somebody at the moment who's like in Antarctica or something like that. Like, where the hell did you record this? But anyways, I'm going to move on. They had their conference call, and like I said, it was really good. They let the ladies get their time in before the guys came in, and I really like that because usually when it's the full panel, the 4 fighters, the main event and the co-main event, they don't really ask the ladies that many questions, and it really... it sucks for people who want to come there and actually hear about a little bit of the beefs and things like that. So Nico and Valentina were able to get their thoughts off. They were really able to get their thoughts off. So the one thing I'm actually going to get a little bit more into Valentina Shevchenko on this. You guys heard the video that I did about the fighter spirit promo that they cut on Nico Montano. Just... basically she said the same stuff. There's going to be a couple of things that I'm going to mention at the end of this video about Nico Montano, but Valentina Shevchenko, she cleared up something that to me was bothering me a little bit. So when Antonina Shevchenko won her fight at Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series, Valentina was there and it was a lot of fun and it was exciting and blah, blah, blah. It was a great finish. But then they asked Valentina, they said, so what's the plan about you fighting your sister? And Valentina said in a coy kind of way, she was like, I don't know. That's what she said. And it made it seem like she was willing to fight her sister. I hate to say that, but that's how it seemed. It came off like that. So in this conference call, they asked her about fighting her sister, and she nipped that shit in the bud. She said, I will never, ever fight my sister. My mom would hate to see something like that. I would never fight my sister for money. And I'm glad that she nipped that shit in the bud. She had to do that. Because the UFC, if you give them any idea that maybe they can go there, then they will go there. They will. Do not open the door, not even an inch. Somebody will kick that bitch in. So I am really happy that she did that. I never want to see Antonina Shevchenko and Valentina Shevchenko fight each other. And I would never want to see Nick and Nate Diaz fight each other. Like, I don't understand why people ever want to see that. It was awkward whenever you watch Serena and Venus play each other in tennis. It was always awkward. You're like, well, I guess I don't really know who to root for. I mean... everybody was like, oh, Venus let Serena win. Because that's how family is. At some point, you just realize, oh, there's that one person in the family. So I'm glad. I am so happy that she nipped that in the bud. I am really happy that she did that. So, shout out to Valentina Shevchenko for just getting the shit, just for straightening the record. Getting the record straight right there. So next, I'm going to say that the fact that Valentina did that makes me think she might have a PR team behind her. She might have an actual PR team behind her who said, hey, dead that rumor. Dead that whole thing. Anybody ask you about fighting your sister, just silence it. Silence it. So whoever did that, shout out to them too. Now, the next thing I'll say is, I think that Nico is getting under Valentina's skin. I know this isn't going to go over well, but I actually think that Nico is getting under Valentina Shevchenko's skin. Because Nico is out there acting like Rose Namajunas. She's putting on the Rose act. Now, I'm not going to call it an act. What I'll call it is a realization, like almost like this level of maturity that you get to. So Rose got to that space. I know we all love Thug Rose, but Thug Rose is named Thug Rose for a reason. Never get it twisted. All this gardening that she's talking about and peace and happiness and love. When Rose fought Carla Esparza, she thought that she had the fight in the bag. Before the fight, she was so cocky. And she got handed her ass. And she took it the right way. She took it with a champion heart. She took it and said, you know what? I need to humble myself. Like I said, those who humble themselves shall be exalted. Those who exalt themselves shall be humbled. So Rose did the right thing. She humbled herself. Right? And so Nico's doing the same thing. Nico was lashing out about this whole Valentina Shevchenko fight. She was pissed about it. Don't get me wrong. Everybody knew it. She was ducking. She was cussing out reporters. She was blocking people on Instagram. She was lashing out. And I think that she has gone into this place where she has found that higher level of maturity. And I think it's getting under Valentina's skin. I actually do. Nico keeps doing this weird thing where so basically somebody asked her, they said, and this was weeks ago. Weeks ago, she was at the fight where UFC, I can't remember which pay-per-view it was, but I can't remember the number, but it was basically when DJ lost his belt to Henry Cejudo. Okay, so she was at that card and they interviewed her. And they asked her, they said, how are you going to, if you do beat Valentina, what do you think is going to happen? Like, if you win, how's it going to happen? She said, by first round knockout. Now, she didn't say it the way that I'm saying it. I'm saying it like I actually might knock somebody out in the first round. She didn't say, she said, I'm going to knock her out in the first round. And then she kind of shrugged her shoulders like, fuck off. You don't think I'm going to win. Just get out of here, basically. That's what she was thinking. Then on this conference call, they ask her, they say, so if you do beat Valentina, exact same question. So if you do beat Valentina, how do you think you get it done? She said, by submission and by knockout at the same time. First, I'm going to submit her and then I'm going to knock her out. Basically, Nico is making a mockery of the fight. She's making a joke of it. These are tactics that people use to float. Right? When you're trying to float, you have to do something to float. You can't not do anything, because if you don't do anything and if you curl up into a ball and hide, you're going to sink, right? You're just going to sink. So you have to do something to float. You got to kick them feet around and tread water for a while. And that's what she's doing. She's making a mockery of the fight. Guys, I'm telling you, she's turning it into a joke. She said, I'm going to submit her, and then right after that, I'm going to knock her out. So Valentina, when they asked Valentina, Valentina laughed. She said, yeah, she laughed and said, you're going to knock me out, and then you're going to submit me, and then you're going to knock me out. And she laughed again. This is not Valentina, right? So Valentina was saying, she said, well, we all have dreams. Where she's trying to keep it together, but I actually know, she feels it. She feels like, you're not getting your back into it the way that I want you to. You're not getting your back into this fight. You're making a joke of the fight. You're making a mockery of the fight, And it's just interesting. I do feel like this is getting under Valentina's skin so much more than, like, remember when Amanda Nunes was like, I already beat you. She kept telling Valentina that. And Valentina was like shrugging her shoulders. She was cool as a cucumber. She was like, she's basically like, beating these nuts. I don't care about that. We're having a new fight tomorrow and I'm going to beat you. That's what Valentina was saying at the time. It's just funny to see how Valentina is reacting to Nico. she's reacting in a way because Valentina has invested a lot in Nico. Nico has invested nothing into Valentina. What Nico has been doing is ignoring Valentina. She has been hoping that Valentina would never exist. She's like, I'm not even going to say the name. Whenever she talks to her, she says, yes, she has a lot of years of experience. But man, Valentina's been on her neck. For 4 straight months, Valentina has been eating, sleeping, thinking, dreaming about Nico. There's just something about it that's off. There's something about this, man, that's just giving me chills. If Nico Montano manages to beat Valentina Shevchenko, this would be like one of those mind games this would be like the craziest mind game that I've ever seen. This would be better than like Connor's mind shit that he's always playing with the races. You know, he always come out and start dissing your whole race. Oh, yeah. He'll be just, oh, gosh. Remember RDA? How he went in on RDA? You know, so this will be some mind game, trippy type stuff. You know, it'll be up there with Thug Rose. How Thug Rose played out. JJ, she said, I'm going to kill her with kindness. I'm literally going to kill her with kindness. But those are my thoughts. Those are my thoughts on this. I would love to hear what you guys think, man. It's all getting so... I know maybe I'm thinking too deep into it, but Nico is making a joke of the fight. Obviously. She's obviously making a joke of the fight. And I don't think Valentina likes it. Not one goddamn minute. I don't think she likes it at all. She wants somebody to bite at her. She wants somebody to growl at her a little bit. You know? She actually likes that because Valentina is a cool person, in my opinion. Valentina comes off as very cool. Like, I like to shoot guns. You know, like, she's just like, I like to shoot guns. I speak a little Spanish. I'm a great fighter. I've been fighting for 15 years. I believe in the martial art. Da, da, da. Like, Valentina comes off as cool. She actually comes off as cool. Even those outfits that she wears where she had I thought that she had a old phone case. Like one of those old school 90s phone cases clipped onto her belt. It wasn't a phone case. It was a knife, man. It was a knife that she had clipped onto her damn pants. I was like, this girl is cool as hell. I don't know how they let her in the building with that, because in America, all of that is contraband. All of that is contraband, so she smuggled it in. She smuggled in the knife, man, and it's just, I don't know, there's something about Valentina that's cool as a cucumber, but when it comes to Nico, on that conference call, I heard something a little bit different. I heard something very, very different. Anyways, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section.